Welcome to the Oddity Shop, where the bizarre is always on sale.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. I am sitting here with the one, the only, the sometimes gorgeous, but all the rest of the time is beautiful, Kara Parakovic.
Wow, that was a really great introduction, except for you said, welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, welcome back to the Oddity Shop. I should.
But don't start
It
over
is a
because...
podcast.
I loved that.
How are you doing today? I know what I'm doing. I'm not mentally with it this week.
Do you know what you're doing?
I think I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah, that you are. I'm doing really great today. My mommy came over today. We spent the day together. It was a dreary day, but we had a really good day. We just kind of chilled, listened to some music, set up Aunt Pat's new iPad.
Fun.
Yeah, we had a really great day. I picked out some dresses for my brother's wedding.
Can I?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I have to ask your permission before I tell this story. So, Kara's brother is getting married, and his fiance is of Asian descent.
So, yes, so she's Vietnamese and Chinese.
Yes. Okay. Kara sends me two pictures of what I thought was like a this or that, like this dress or this one.
Well, let me just really quickly. So Zach does know that this has been a dilemma for a little bit. It's like, I want to look really beautiful for my brother's wedding. It's, pretty elegant and it's pretty big. And so I've been telling him about these dresses and like stressing out about, finding the right dress. So I send him these dresses. Poor Zach.
So I get two pictures, and one of them is just like a beautiful black dress. The other one is also...
Yeah, and I can't I cannot pronounce the proper name for this, but it is...
Hold on to that. So one of them is a beautiful black dress. The other one is also a black dress that is basically a kimono.
Not really, but
no,
but yes. It's a lot.
It has Asian culture ties onto the print of the dress.
Yes.
To which my first thought was, oh my God, you cannot, as a white woman, show up to her wedding wearing this.
But internally, you're panicking and not saying this.
I don't want to say it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, are you trying to pick between these? And then you're like, no, I have to wear both, or I need both. And I'm like, is there... How did I say it?
Yeah, actually, the way you said it is actually really funny. Hold, please. Oh, you were assigned... When you said that, I should have, I thought that's really odd that you said that.
I was like, are you assigned to wear both dresses? Like a bridesmaid dress sort of deal. So I go up to Julia. I'm like, I'm going to have to explain to this white girl what cultural appropriation is and how she can't wear this dress. So after she said that,
but it's so
she was
funny
told to wear them.
But you also know that that's so not me. I am so
I was
shocked. Aware.
Yes. And I had to call you, and then you had to explain
You were like, I don't know how to say this, and then I thought you were going to tell me that the other dress that I got, I didn't look good in or something, and I was like, oh no, I was like, my mom approved, and you're like, I don't think you're allowed to wear that.
I have to do my duty as your best friend and be like, you cannot wear that to this event. But knowing now that there's a whole reason for it, and that you were told to.
I called Jeanette after, which is my brother. They're technically already married, but whatever. It was a quick one day because military wedding. But anyway, I called her to tell her the story, and she was laughing, and she's like, well, at least she's like a really great best friend to call you out and make sure you're good. And I'm like, I know. It was so cute.
They're beautiful dresses, though. I will say.
Okay,
that.
I want to get the pronunciation. That's what I've been trying to.
So while she's looking that up, the pronunciation she's looking for is for a tea party, right? That's before the wedding?
Yeah, so it's a, and I'm probably really butchering all of this. It is like a ceremonial tea party in the morning for all the women of the family. My understanding. I could totally be wrong. Okay, well, I don't know how to say this, but it's AODAI, and this is apparently the pronunciation from Google.
Aozai.
That is the proper dress that I'm wearing for the Vietnamese tea party.
I'm just so happy that you weren't appropriating. Not that I think you would. I was just like, How do I tell her? Like trying to find the nicest way.
Oh, God. Anyway, so that was hilarious.
Okay, real quick. I've been addicted to this show called Jury Duty. Have you watched it yet?
No.
The entire premise, it's so worth the watch, but this guy gets called into jury duty.
Is this real? A reality? Oh, no. It's what's his name's in it. I've seen all the previews. But
yeah, James Marsden's in it.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, this guy is the only person in the entire court case who is not an actor.
Okay, yep.
It's like a social experiment, right? So he thinks he's going to jury duty, and then he also thinks that they're doing a documentary about the jurists on a jury duty. James Marsden is James Marsden as one of the jurors who just plays like this over-exaggerated asshole version of himself.
I love him.
But then everyone else is so weird.
What is it on?
It's on Freevee, but you can watch it through either Amazon or Hulu.
Okay.
It's so worth a watch, though, because like this guy is seriously the world's biggest sweetheart. And like how they cast him to be the John who didn't know. It's amazing. But watch the show.
Okay. All right. What else you got? Anything?
Binging, that's been my big thing. Still just trying to finish my spring cleaning that will never end.
I'll say spring's not over. You're good.
I know, but I've been spring cleaning for well over a month. I'm just going so slow.
That's fine. Well, you already went over my dresses, so I got my dresses. I think that's not it. Let's open up the shop.
Okay, 2 things before we open up the shop. 1, if you're liking the show, please, please, please share it with one other person.
Please.
We would love you if you did. And 2,
if you're feeling frisky. 2 people. If you feel
share with 2. I said like number 2, and then I'm like feeling frisky for what? Number 2, Kara, do you have a question for me?
Yes. Do you know Morse code?
I mean, I know what it is.
Oh, you've never like. I didn't know if like you worked in the park and stuff. Did you ever have to? You didn't have to learn Morse code? We did
have like cheat sheets for Morse code when I worked in the park. I think for like SOS and like the main things.
Okay, so like if you needed it, you would have a cheat sheet.
You know what? I also, I don't know if I've ever told you this. A young aspiring scientist in high school, got my ham license, which is I can't remember what the M stands for, but it's handheld amateur something radio license. You know, like those giant radios where you can like, or I got extra credit in science class for doing it. And
is that science?
Yeah, because to pass, you have to like go to an extra course and pass a test. And part of that test is like, do you remember Ohm's law for electricity and like frequency and waves and all that kind of stuff?
I'm done. Go back to the original question. Do you know Morse code?
Yes, I learned it in my ham radio class.
Oh my God.
I had an assigned call sign. I can't remember what it is now.
At this point, everybody's dropped off. They're like, yeah, we're done. I'm just kidding.
If you're still here, though, what's the second part of the question?
That there isn't a second part. I didn't say it was a 2-parter. I just said, do you know Morse code?
Sometimes you do 2-parters. I thought there'd be more to that.
You went off on a tangent about a ham.
All right. What are we talking about this week?
This might be a longer-ish one, but it still is a more discussion-y one, just so you know.
Gotcha.
You ready, Freddie? All right. I'm just going to start us off with a quote. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All officers, including the captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge. Possibly whole crew dead. I die. What do you make of that?
I am so excited.
Do you know what this is?
Yep.
Damn! I didn't know if you'd know. And so I was like, ooh, it could go both ways. Like,
we're talking boat disasters. Well, sorry. I'll stop.
That was the cryptic SOS the Silver Stars captain received in Morse code. The SOS came from the SS Ourang Medan. How do you feel about it now? Even though you already know. But what's your feels?
This one's been on my list for so long, but I didn't want to write it. I'm so glad you're telling it to me. I'm here for a boat story.
Okay. In the 1940s, specific time frame is unclear. It's most likely 1947, 1948. It kind of varies. Allegedly, the Ourang Medan was sailing from an unnamed small Chinese port to Costa Rica. The ship was also said to be carrying a badly stowed cargo of oil of vitriol, which is another name for sulfuric Sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid.
There you go.
Okay. However, there was apparently no record of this ship in nautical history. There's a lot of howevers, apparentlys, maybes. It gets a little confusing. I tried to make it as less
There's
wishy.
just nothing concrete about it.
I know. I know. So using radio directional equipment, it was discovered that the ship was 19 hours away in the Straits of Malacca.
I think that's right.
It is right. Let me start over.
No, just keep going.
Okay. In the Straits of Malacca between Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, the Silver Star went to aid to the rescue. Okay, so they get that really wacky SOS and they're like, all right, it's 19 hours away. Boom, let's go. So the SS Ourang Medan was found 50 miles from the indicated spot. I just don't know about you, but like ships, especially like those like olden cargo ship, they're so unsettling and just ghostly feeling. What is it?
It's something about, so when it's under the water, it's called thalassophobia, right? Like man-made objects emerge under the water makes you really creeped out.
I don't like that.
But
like,
something about like a very large man-made object.
Like vessel. Ugh.
Just.
But like when I look at
being there, well, I don't want to spoil it, but.
No, what I'm saying is like when I look at a cruise ship, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But when I look at like, I don't know, like military or cargo ships or like that, they're just so unsettling. I don't know what it is.
I think it's the size.
Maybe. All right. So at the arrival, the crew of the Silver Star, they're not seeing any obvious signs of damage to the ship as they approach it. And they're also not seeing any indication that there's anyone on board. So remember, there's not a clear time frame, but it was only 19 hours away. So assuming they left right away, it took them 19 hours from when they got that SOS.
Like, how does it move that?
Well, I guess it could float 50, whatever, but also there's no damage to the ship. The SOS is saying that like the captain's dead, everyone's dead. Like, what? I don't know.
Ugh.
Okay. So with no clear damage, there's also no response when they're trying to radio other crew members on the ship. Obviously, the next step is to board and figure out what's going on. Regrettably, I would say that's what the Silver Star crew did.
Oh, no.
The crew would probably rather lose their vision than to have boarded and witnessed the sight. Corpses furnished the ship. It was said the decks were littered with bodies. A total of 22 crew members were found dead. I can't imagine that. Like, my brain can't comprehend little things. This would just kill me.
I mean, I feel like based on the SOS message, like the Silver Star crew had to be,
I guess,
prepared for some sort of,
I guess,
tragedy. But
so it's like, what the hell happened? Okay. To make the odder, the crew of the Ourang Medan was all wide-eyed and their faces frozen in fear. It was noted that their teeth bared with their upturned faces to the sun. So their eyes are all open. Their teeth are like baring and they're all looking up.
Now, no matter how prepared you were for tragedy, nothing prepares you for rigor mortis and fear.
The ship's dog was even frozen mid-snarl. And when I mean frozen, I don't mean ice frozen.
No, like rigor mortis had set in. They died with that fear on their faces.
There were no physical injuries on any of the bodies. So I'm going to give you a few notable things to mention. The Silver Star crew noticed one lifeboat was missing. They also noted some other strange things. The temp locally was 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So that, again, they weren't actually frozen. But the Ourang Medan crew felt oddly cold. The bodies also seem to be decaying quite quicker than normal. We need to just discuss this because
yes.
Okay.
Because that's one of the things that always gets me. They're decaying quite quicker than normal, but nobody has good record of when the ship left. So how did they come to that conclusion? Because they don't know when the people died.
Well, they just had radioed them 19 hours prior. You know what I mean?
Do you feel the most powerful and beautiful with the elements of the earth around you? Do you like one-of-a-kind jewelry? Do you sometimes feel like a woodland fairy? Me too. That's why I created Holly and Hemlock, a magical shop filled with handmade wooden jewelry and metaphysical tools. Come check out our enchanting wooden wares at www.hollyhemlock.com. and join us in honoring the magic and beauty of nature with each unique creation. That's www.hollyhemlock.com.
Let me come back to that at the end because I wanna posit something, but
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything.
We have a ship that's not recorded, allegedly. Travels are pretty much unknown, so they don't really know where they're traveling to or whatever because it's not recorded. What the ship's carrying is very unclear. A cryptic SOS via Morse code. There's a lifeboat missing, 22 crew members, and a dog physically frozen in fear. No blood, no injuries. Like, what the hell is going on? Due to the size of the steamer, there were at one point most likely about 40 crew members. So where are the rest of them? And then also, while further investigating all the ship's paperwork, logbooks, records are missing.
Okay, help me remember if I'm confusing this with another one. Did they get the SOS message just once, or was it repeating?
I actually think that they did get it once or twice, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
but that's also very unclear.
Because I've heard that it was like repeating. So even though they got it 19 hours prior, it had been like...
But it wasn't, it was, see, I didn't even incorporate that because it was very unclear. Some articles
all of it is
say that it
unclear.
was
Yeah.
like twice that they got it, and they got like another one that was really weird and vague. But yeah, so no, you are correct in, you're probably thinking of the same thing.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, there's so many confounding stories. Like, how do you know what's real?
Right. So as the Silver Star crew is getting ready to tow the ship back with them, smoke starts to pour out of number 4 hold, which is one of the cargo holds. So it starts billowing out. The explosion makes enough force to lift the ship out of the water before it rolls over and sinks for good. All right. So before we talk theories, I know you know some of them, but based on all of that information, what are you thinking? Because I have no idea. At that point, like all of that, I don't know. I
mean, the only place you can go is like horror movie plot. Like some evil descended on the boat. Something weird happened for sure.
I'm thinking, yeah, like you said, but it's like spiritual something because there's no injuries, there's no blood, there's no physical damage to bodies or the boat. So what is happening? And there's like 20 people missing. It's wild.
Which on one boat on a steamer, like you can't comfortably fit that many people.
Yeah, you can. That's what the average they say is about 40 crew members.
Right, but 22 were found and only one boat was gone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant on the whole steamer only.
Right,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
means
No.
18 people got away on
No.
one boat?
Mm-mm.
No, absolutely not.
No. Okay, so let's go into some of the theories can get a little, we'll just get into them. So one of them is, did the ship ever sail? You know, there is no mention of the Ourang Medan in the Lloyd's shipping registries, which was founded to inspect and examine the physical structure and equipment of merchant vessels. So there's no record of that.
Do you want to hear a really funny side note?
Yeah.
Do you know that Lloyd's is still around today?
Yeah.
However, what they mostly do is over-the-road cargo insurance.
Why would you know that, sir?
Because I worked in third-party logistics for a while. It was also the trash of the trashest insurances, but...
Oh my God. Cut that. Just kidding. Okay, but some say that the ship was registered under the name Sumatera, which is named after Sumatra Island in Medan, Indonesia, which would be why the ship was invisible, if you will, to domestic registries. So a lot of people are like, yes, the ship sailed. It's just not in U.S. registries. That doesn't even, like, a lot of if you were to look this up, a lot of articles call it the ghost ship because people don't think it was real. They're like, it's like a phantom ship, but it's like logistically, not every ship at that time was recorded everywhere. You know what I mean?
However, the movie Ghost Ship was largely based on parts of this.
Oh, I've never watched that movie. I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah. Very different internal plot, but like the overarching.
Okay. There's also, so that's just saying that the ship never sailed. Like maybe it was a real ship, but it never actually sailed. There's other theories that the story it's just completely made up. So some say the story just isn't real. The year is unclear and it changes in every article, making it seem like it's not true. But like, I don't know. I guess people have wild imaginations, but that just seems like a lot to me for somebody to just like make up one day and then it just get to where we are now. I don't think that's, I don't know.
No, I just feel like it's become such a pop culture item that like there's no way it just came from nothing.
Yeah. All right. So one of like the bigger ish ones would be that it's a government cover up. So I don't know why, but people think that it's a government cover up. As it's said that the ship is a ghost ship, logs of the Silver Star omit any attempts of rescuing the Ourang Medan. There are no anywhere saying that the Silver Star went and rescued them, which would 100% be logged. However, if it doesn't exist, then why was the SS Ourang Medan referenced in the Coast Guard story in 1952, which I could read it to you. I have it mapped out to read to you, but basically it's exactly what I told you, that, you know, they get the SOS from the Ourang Medan. They get there. They see that there's no one responding. There's nothing. There's no damage. They see all the people dead, all that teeth bared, looking up, whatever, all that crap. I'm not going to reread it to you because I already know all that. But it's just strange that people think it's like a government cover up, that it doesn't even exist for whatever reasons. But it's also noted in a Coast Guard log. And it's also in a letter written to the CIA, which I'm going to read to you right now.
I don't know this.
It's very hard to read this. I did print it out. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to read all of it because it is 2 pages. What I will say that it is been photocopied many times over the years. It's stamped December 5th, 1959. So you can imagine how many times it's been photocopied and then published on the internet. So it is a little bit hard to read, but I do want to read some of it too because it's kind of cool. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
So it says dear, and it's covered, but it was to the CIA. On May 29th, 1958, I sent you a letter concerning crew disappearing from ships on the high seas. A ship or ships which have disappeared without trace. Well, I have just read a weird story concerning the Dutch vessel SS Ourang Medan. I will be indeed grateful for your opinion of the story. Also, do you think something from the unknown is involved? Okay, then it's a very long, pretty much a page worth of everything that I've already told you. Of like the whole SOS, the crew being found, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to reread it again. But then it cuts to, I feel sure that the SS Ourang Medan tragedy holds the answer to many of these airplane accidents. I'm so sorry, it's so hard to read. And unsolved mysteries of the sea. Also, I have often thought about the many sightings of huge fiery spheres rising from the sea or disappearing into the sea by ships' captains and crews in the 18th and 19th centuries. If you don't know what he's referring to, it's most likely UFO sightings.
Aliens, baby.
Okay. So then it goes on. There are alarming passages in Old English chronicles written in medieval Latin and in Latin, I don't know what that says, I'm so sorry, or books printed before the year 1500 AD, which suggests that these fiery spheres cause destruction and that they come from within our planet. For instance, in 216 BC, things like ships were seen in the sky over Italy and I think it says Sardinia. A knight was making his rounds, inspecting the post guarding the, I don't know what that is, when a stick in his hands burnt into flames. The same things happened to Roman soldiers somewhere who saw their, flames and burn in their hands. And then it just goes on and on and on. And then it's like even also in AD 1067, people saw fire that flamed and burned fierily in the sky. And then I really can't read the rest because it's
fierily in the sky.
It might not be fierily. I can't. Oh, maybe it's fiercely. It might be fiercely. It's so hard to read this, you guys. I'm so sorry, but it's so crazy. So then it ends. Yes, the enchanting sea. What terrifying secret does it hold? I feel sure that the SS Ourang Medan tragedy also holds the answer to this secret. Sincerely yours, C.H. I think it's Mark Jr.? Isn't that wild?
I mean,
but like who?
It kind of sounds like typical conspiracy.
I know, but who just
writing,
like, let's send this to the CIA. It's a long letter.
Dear CIA.
Listen, I had to put it in there.
Okay, I want to hear more of your theories before I start talking about mine.
Okay, are you ready? The next one. Deadly air. So that was government cover up, whatever. Deadly air. So if there were chemicals on board, this could have leaked into the ship's cargo hold and affected the crew. If seawater breached the hold, its reaction with the deadly chemicals may have released toxic gases that could have caused this, I can't ever say that word, asphyxiation of the crew. But people argue this because the ship isn't closed. It's not all closed, right? So the non-closed areas.
That one has never sat well with me because the Silver Star, right? Mm-hmm. They said that they saw the bodies when they got on deck.
Well, they said that they were on deck. They were in the captain's office. They were in the chart room.
But if it was a gas buildup,
exactly,
they wouldn't be on deck.
Right. So that's so the ship isn't closed area. So the fumes would have escaped, and anyone that was on the upper decks, they would have been fine. So maybe people lower and in chart room, like the chart room, the captain's quarters, whatever, they may have absolutely died. But everybody on the upper deck, no, that doesn't make sense. Those fumes would have been released into the sea.
Yeah, it would have been way too dissipated.
Right. Okay. So another one is pirates. So there is a history of the Strait of Malacca invasion having issues with piracy, like invasion of piracy. However, we kind of can poke holes in this theory because how did they kill the crew? There are no physical wounds. And the SOS had...
I mean, unless it was some sort of biological attack, you know what I mean?
But the SOS didn't say anything about them being attacked. You'd think that if you were relaying the Morse code, the SOS, you'd be we're being attacked, we're under invasion. Those would be the words that I think that would come across in your SOS. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it would be.
It's almost like whoever made it wasn't a part of the initial event.
No, that's exactly what it is. Okay. Because it's literally all officers, including the captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge, possibly whole crew dead. And then it says, I die. What? Ugh, so you just said,
that has always sent chills.
Everybody is dead as you're sending this, and then I die? So did you just die as you were sending it? Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
Forever and ever ago, but I don't know if I could remember any of it.
That part of the story always reminds me. So they find these cave writings in that movie, and at the end, they're the Holy Grail is in the temple or the castle. And they're suppose it's not the castle. He just died while writing it. It's nobody would write if they're dying. They would just say that part of the Ourang Medan story always takes me back to but it's the same thing. You wouldn't write I'm dying.
I die.
Okay,
but then also with the piracy thing, it's would they take the remaining crew members? Because remember, we're missing 18 people. All right.
Almost 50% of the crew, possibly.
And maybe they would take them. I don't know.
And that's if it was even sailing full stocked. I almost said full staff.
Capacity.
There we go. Thank you.
Full stock. I like that. It's cattle stock. Anyway, another thing is aliens or a UFO. And we just read that wonderful CIA letter. So hard. I'm so sorry. But there is a theory by Morris Jessup that the crew was attacked by UFOs before they died. This would be why there is no seemingly cause to their death and why their faces were terrified, frozen, looking upwards because they'd be looking at a UFO and beams
that one tracks.
Killed and froze them. I don't know about that part. I added it, but I just don't know. I'm so confused. So ghosts or paranormal activity is another one. This could explain the chill to the crew because we all know that if there's a chill in the air, it's normally paranormal-ish, whatever, you get it.
Right.
And this could also be why their faces were so frightened. I Out of all of those, I guess, what are you going with? Or what do you want to...
So here's one.
Nope, don't give me more because I might have more for you. Out of those,
crap.
What are you going with? You're ruining my damn story.
I'm either going to go with UFOs.
Okay.
Or I'm going to go with like a biological warfare sort of thing. Like, I don't think the gas is built up in the ship, but I do think that they could have been something that was released.
Okay, I'm going to go with 2 theories in one. Ghosts, pirates.
Ooh.
That's what I'm going with.
I feel like it's like a Pirates of the Caribbean.
Because Zach's a little shit. But for those of you that don't know this story, what if I withheld some information from you?
I actually don't know what information you're withholding, and I want to see if we're coming to the same.
You probably are. Okay. There is a possible survivor in this tale. Jerry Rabbit.
It sounds like a made-up name.
Zach Palmer kind of sounds made up.
Fuck
I'm just kidding. Okay, so according to the Shipyard blog, 3 days after the SOS came through, a lifeboat with 6 corpses and 1 survivor washed up on Marshall Island. Jerry claimed to be a second officer to the SS Ourang Medan. Jerry worked on a Chinese steamer and was recruited for the Medan. So he hadn't really worked on there that long. He stated that the Medan took 1,500 crates of unknown cargo to various Chinese ports to Costa Rica. As he's like on and like working, he realizes this was a smuggling operation.
Ooh.
So Jerry heard crew and staff complain of stomach cramps and fatigue. When he informed the captain, he was kind of dismissed. They were like, "Yep, no, don't worry about it. You know, mind your business." But eventually someone died, and it was recorded by the captain as a heart attack. And Jerry was kind of like, "I don't know about this." And he grew even more suspicious. So he snuck into the ship's logbooks, or he snuck in and looked at all the logbooks.
Right.
Items listed were sulfuric acid, cyanide, and nitroglycerin. So
that'll do it.
Right. So supposedly he stole the logbooks and all the other shit, jumped into a lifeboat with 6 others, and they all fled. But then he dies soon after saying all of this. And then that is still the mystery of the SS Ourang Medan.
Okay.
However, if you want to go more realistic, I guess you could say, this does make sense. It does not account for essentially 18 crew members, but maybe like you said, there's not a full 40 passengers on board. So that could account for the missing lifeboat, right? And then that's 7 crew members because that's 6 in him. So that's a 7 additional. So it doesn't get us up to a full crew or staff, whatever you want to call it, but it gets us more. It does account for why all of the logbooks and everything was missing. And it does possibly account for why everybody passed away and died because of all the shit that was on board. But no.
Okay.
No. What were you going to say, though?
Do you want to hear my completely speculative?
Yes, I do. No, I do.
No research.
Because before we started recording, I told you this was going to be more of a discussion, like at the end, because I cannot get this. I can't get it.
Here's one thing I've always thought of. Okay. So ships are one of the first things that made us a global economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It allowed you to go to continents unknown. It allowed you to travel. Okay.
Yep.
When the Europeans first landed in America and they gave the Native Americans blankets, it infected them with smallpox, right?
Okay.
So a disease that Europeans had built up an immunity to, but people they had never encountered suffered greatly from it. Now,
like COVID.
you have... Well,
No.
It's true.
No,
right?
you're...
Until you build up an immunity, the effects can be really devastating. So now you have this ship from China that's going around the world and delivering goods,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who's to say it didn't pick up a crew member or stop at a port where they contracted some strange illness to them that they had never seen before?
Mm-hmm.
So you now have, okay, if it's a particularly deadly disease to them, right? Yeah, you're going to be probably grimacing when you die. You might have a couple crew members who hold out longer than others.
I have to pause because I really have to commend you because I know you're my best friend and I think that you're so super intelligent and smart and you're my genius best friend. But holy shit, because I have to tell you, on all the hours of research and the bajillion articles that I've read on this, not one person even noted that this could be.
I know, and I'm a weird boat person.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, I'm not knocking you because I did just tell you you're a genius. But also, how has nobody thought of that? I mean, I'm sure they have, but how is it not talked about?
It has to be an explanation.
Right.
Right, because that's even one thing. Like, if somebody is now actively dying from that, they're like, okay, the last thing I'm going to do is try to, send an SOS. Mind you, because sickness hits people at different times, who's to say that half the crew who wasn't feeling the effects yet didn't leave with the logbooks of the proof onto the lifeboat to try to, get to land before they got infected, and God only knows what happened to them afterwards. That's always been my theory.
No, but also, let's get real. Nobody even talks about the fact that those other plus crew members, however many there are, they really could have been sick, fallen overboard. No one searched for them. You're not going to. It's the wide open seas. That many, that is a possibility.
Here's the other thing. If it's an unknown sickness on a boat and a couple of the crew members are dying, as the captain, would you not throw over anybody who's exhibiting signs of sickness? I was
actually going to say that, is that if you're the captain, because in this Jerry Rabbit, he claimed that people were getting sick. Yeah, absolutely. People could have been dying and he's just throwing them overboard. You're not going to keep these dead bodies. That's just not, I don't know. Absolutely not. So yeah, absolutely. Now, I just don't know. I don't know. It's so bizarre to me. I think what really gets me is the frozen, everybody with their eyes wide open and their teeth up, their teeth showing with their faces upward. That really, really, really disturbs me, panics me. It makes me feel uncomfortable. And that alone is what gets me to the point where I have no idea what happened. Because
there's nothing more terrifying. You get on a boat, you see a boat floating in the middle of nowhere.
Just bobbing.
You get on the boat and everyone is just, oh.
But I think that's what gets me. So I do love your theory and I appreciate you giving that because you're a fucking genius. Holy shit. Hashtag that. Zach's a genius. Truly. But I still don't. I think you're so onto something, but it's just that their frozen faces with their eyes open and their teeth up and their face looking upward is what gets me. And that I just don't know. I don't know.
I think there's just something so enticing about experiences like this, right? So it's something that happened on a secluded boat in the middle of nowhere. We'll never figure out the answer. And it's such a mystery.
It's so wild. So jokingly, I said ghost pirates. That's so badass to me because I freaking love pirates, man. I want to be a pirate so bad. If I didn't want to be a vampire, I'd be a pirate. I'll pick one or the other I'll take, right? So a ghost pirate, man, how badass would that be? But I don't know. I truly, this so unsettles me.
Wouldn't you be so mad though if you were a ghost pirate and all you did was look at somebody and then they got a terrified look on their face and died? You're we didn't even get to the fun part yet. We had a whole plan.
I know. And also though, ghost pirate, because piracy, you steal things, right? You're taking other people's treasure. You're a ghost. You can't really do shit. Right? You can't take their treasure. What are you going to do? So actually, dang.
I also think though, okay, my theory might go back to a cover up too, because of course, if one ship goes somewhere and gets sick, why wouldn't governments want to cover that up? You think they want all ocean freight to stop because of fear mongering?
You're so smart.
I'm telling you, I think it was some sickness that they didn't have.
I'm so proud to call you my best friend.
I'm glad you're proud. Somebody is probably going to come out and be like, no, you're completely wrong and here's why it's misproven. So I'm gonna take the ego boost.
Take it, man. I'm here for it. And you know what? It's our podcast. I don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks. You're a genius and you're my best friend.
Oh, you're a genius. Thanks. That's why we do this together.
No, but that actually is, because it's you don't want to spread that you're going to these ports and things. So that actually makes a lot of sense. Let's cover it up, government. Let's cover it up. Nope, never.
Look at the beginning stages of COVID, how everyone tried to be oh, it's not a big thing. It's not a big thing. Well, not everyone. America, while everyone else was taking it seriously.
We'll be careful about it. Right. Your views on COVID are your views and not ours. And it's totally fine. We still love you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, sorry. That is a probably a very controversial subject.
Yeah, that's a really good point, though, because I do kind of lean with the government cover-up. I don't know what would have happened to make it. I don't understand that science. You know, you took that one thing about science, about a ham thing. It didn't really, but maybe. And then the government covered up, like, to your point, like, we don't want to spread this. Like, we want people to keep going to ports, getting our goods, things like that. So we're just going to cover it up and be done with it. Oh, man. I could sit here and talk to you for hours about this because, like, any point that you bring up, you can poke holes into it and you can be like, yeah, but that doesn't make sense. Or this doesn't make sense. And this is just so.
Right. And it's unfortunately one of those things that we're just never going to be able to explain.
Nope. Okay. Anyway, that's the mysterious SS Ourang Medan.
I just kind of have this hope, like, because it is one of those things, it's never proven that it sailed, but, like, wouldn't it be cool if one day they unearthed something in the ocean that, like, said SS Ourang Medan?
I never even thought about that because, yeah, it did sink, and technically they know the coordinates.
Right. I want to know what was in it for real. Okay, what if it's gold? Scratch the plan of me and Aaron that we talked about in the Titanic episode, killing you for insurance money to go see the Titanic. We're going to go find the gold in the Ourang Medan.
I don't think it's gold, though. Because if it was gold, then no, it's gone.
And all we find is smallpox.
It's gone. If it's gold, then that's what was taken. And, like,
True. I guess even though, like, if it was sickness, what causes the explosion?
Oh my God, you're so right. To circle back on that, yeah, the cargo hold caught fire.
Then again, though, it was a steamer.
But what? But it was totally fine.
Yeah, but coal fires in steamers was really common.
Okay.
Oh, it's so interesting. I love a boat mystery. We all know this. Like, I love a boat mystery.
I wasn't going to do this just because we just had done, or you had done Titanic. And I'm like, all right, it's kind of like...
Yeah, but it's so different.
And that's why I was like, it is so different. And it's a mystery. And I feel like I don't know if we've actually covered, like, a full-blown mystery, you know? Maybe kind of. But I think that it's not really a conspiracy. Like, there are a lot of conspiracies that go along with it. But it's not really paranormal. It's not really a murder. It is more of a straight up mystery that nobody freaking knows. Well, somebody might actually know.
We'd love to hear your theories, though. Do you know how the Ourang Medan sunk?
I really, 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 really want people to tell me their theories or what they think. I need it.
Or if you think we're completely wrong on the theories that we make up on the spot.
Also, I don't care if you don't agree with our theories. They're ours. I want to know yours. Don't come for us. Just tell me what you think.
Fair enough. See, I'm here for the conflict.
No, actually, I don't
All right,
care.
dude. Good job. I'm so excited you did
I
that.
was going 50-50 on you knowing about it or not knowing about it. Then I was like, after I printed everything and I was like, already, I was like, this motherfucker is going to know all about this. Not that I care, but...
Oh, no, I love when I know.
I know. It makes
like had the inside
it makes you feel so cool.
Good job. I'm so happy. Except I'd be happier if I knew what happened.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't think it's as cool.
That's true. Yeah, we wouldn't give a shit about it, I guess.
Maybe it would, but...
I'm sure there's thousands of other ships that have gone down that have perfectly reasonable explanations. We're like, oh, what was that? Anything you want to leave us with today?
I mean, I would love to hear your theories or which one you pick. What do you think? Have you heard of this story or not?
And we got a bonus episode brewing.
Oh, yes, we do, baby.
We want to read you your stories. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be paranormal. No. It doesn't have to be crazy. Our show is called Oddity Shop. Anything odd that has happened.
Everything. Deja vu. Weird. Anything.
We need one more story. If you want to be on our first ever bonus episode, you better write it in.
And thanks.
Missy, looking at you.
Missy. Oh, you're so pretty. All right. But no, for real. We're like really excited for bonus episodes because I don't know about whatever. We're going too long, but my favorite podcasts are the ones that have like written in tales or stories of like listener type tales. Those are my favorite. So we want to bring that to you guys. But we need you guys to write them in.
All right. With that, Kara, say the magic words.
Oh, all right. Well, creep it really, oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oddity Shop.